Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to explore a fundamental topic in logic and critical thinking, language and its functions. Language is one of the most powerful tools that human beings possess. It allows us to express thoughts, share emotions, make arguments, and even influence others. In fact, without language, logic itself would have no structure because reasoning, communication, and argumentation all depends on how we use our words. So let's understand what is language. Language can be defined as a system of symbols, word, sound, or gestures that people use to communicate the meaning. It is not just a collection of words, but a structured system that allows us to express our inner thoughts and interact with others. When I say the sky is blue or I feel happy today, I'm using language not only to convey facts but also to express my feelings and experiences. So language performs multiple functions and understanding that functions is very much essential in order to have a big picture of clear and logical thinking. Let us discuss some main functions of the language. The main functions of language and philosophers and linguistics have identified that it has several main functions to play. Let us discuss the most important ones. The very first function, the informative function. This is when language is used to convey information or describe the facts. For example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, or the capital of Pakistan is Islamabad. These statements are either true or false and they can be verified. Informative language is crucial in science, education, and reasoning because it helps us share knowledge objectively. The second function of language is the expressive or the emotive function. This is when language is used to express emotions, feelings, or attitudes. For instance, if I say, I am so happy to see you, or I hate being stuck in the traffic, these sentences do not give factual information, but they express the speaker's emotional state. Such expressions basically help us to connect with others on a human level, as they communicate the mood rather than the fact itself. The third function of the language is the directive function. This is when language is used to cause or prevent certain kind of actions. For example, commands, requests, or even advices. Let us take a few examples like close the door or please submit your assignments by Monday. Do not smoke here. These are some good examples of directive language. Directive language is common in management, laws, religion, and daily communication as well. It doesn't describe reality, it basically attempts to change it by influencing the behavior. The fourth function of language is the performative function. In some cases, languages do not just describe an action. It is the action. For example, I promise to help you, or I now pronounce you as husband and wife. In these statements, the act of speaking creates a social or a legal reality. This is why they are called the performative utterances. Why? Because they perform something through words. The fifth function of the language is the social function. The social function of the language also serves to build and maintain relationships. For instance, when we say good morning, how are you, see you later, we are not just sharing any kind of information. We are actually strengthening the social bonds. This function is vital in polite conversations and teamwork. Now the question arises that why understanding language functions matter. It matters. Why? Because knowing these functions basically help us to recognize the purpose behind the words. Sometimes people use language that seems factual, but it is actually emotional or persuasive. For instance, a politician might say that this is the only way to save our nation. That sounds informative, but it is actually directive and emotive that is meant to influence the feelings and the actions in the general public. So as a logical thinkers, we must ask, is this statement giving us any kind of information, expressing emotion, or trying us to persuade or motivate regarding a particular agenda? Let us discuss some an interesting avenue as well, that is the overlapping of different functions. It is important to note that one sentence can perform more than one function. Take an example: you should really stop eating junk food. It is partially directive, like we are advising an action, but it is partially informative as well, like we are implying that junk food is bad. In real life, language rarely performs only one role. That is why analyzing the meaning of the words we speak or the other person speaks is the key part of the logic and critical thinking. There are certain kind of misunderstandings that may arise due to function confusion. And these misunderstandings often occur when people confuse different kind of actions. If one person is expressing emotion, for instance, that I am so tired of work, and another one responds with the fact, but your job ends at 4 p.m., communication fails. The speaker wanted empathy, not the information. So understanding the function basically helps us to respond appropriately. In logic, we mainly focus on informative language. Why? Because logic deals with the truth and reasoning. But in real communication, other functions, especially the expressive, directive, constantly appear and influence how people think. For example, in advertising, the emotional tone often hides behind the information-looking statements. A toothpaste ad saying that smile with confidence is not informative, it is emotive and directive, basically trying to trigger the feelings and the actions. To sum up, we can state that logic is not just a tool for communication. It is the foundation of thought, it is the foundation of interaction, and it performs various kinds of functions, including the informative function, the expressive function, the directive function, the performative function, and the social function as well. Recognizing these functions basically allows us to become more precise thinkers, better communicators, and more persuasive speakers. In our next lecture, we'll move deeper into how emotive and neutral language shape meaning and how ambiguity and disputes arise when words are misunderstood. Thank you for listening.